You are listening to Wedding and Event Insider. This is Michelle Twarberg. Today we are featuring a new unique event space in Northeast Minneapolis. The owner and guests with us actually completely changed careers from working at Target Corporation as a mobile device engineer to pursue going after what he absolutely loves to do, which is hosting parties and events, and created a completely unique space. You're going to hear his story and the path that led him towards this endeavor, as well as finding out that he is an excellent networker. Welcome, Chris Villegas with the Apartment Minneapolis. Chris, you have a unique space that is a little out of the norm. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so it is an apartment style event space. And when I say apartment style event space, I mean an actual apartment in an apartment building. It's a multi-use building. So I decided to turn one of the apartments into sort of a local party room. It's about 1,000 square feet. It's got real hardwood floors, exposed brick. There's a ton of windows. So there is a ton of natural light that spills into the space, which is one of my favorite features. But it's really just a cozy and warm and inviting space that makes you feel like you're in somebody's apartment.
Oh, that is incredible.
Yeah.
What
It's really nice.
what inspired you to create this space?
So I have been working in corporate jobs my entire life, and the entire time I would say I've not been truly happy, or I just didn't feel like I was where I was supposed to be. And I know a lot of people feel that way. And I finally decided to change something at the age of 37, which seems crazy, but I'm glad I did. I left my job and took some time off to figure out what I wanted to do. And I was talking with a friend and she was like, well, what are you just naturally good at? And I have always been an entertainer slash party thrower. Even at the age of 13, 14 years old, I used to put up signs all around my neighborhood about dance parties that me and my friend used to throw once a month. And I love theming them. I love creating the signage. I love coming up with a theme. I loved coming up with a food list. And I didn't really think about that as being a profession in my professional career while I was working for corporations. But as we were kind of talking about this, she goes, well, it seems to me that you found your passion, or that has what you've always been passionate about. And I looked at her and I was like, you're kind of right. I don't know why I haven't done this before. So that's kind of where the thought of owning my own event space really came to play.
Oh my gosh, I love your story with that, because it so reminds me, we are so similar. My sister and I, when we were kids, would do the same thing. We would do plays, and we would go around the neighborhood with our signs announcing these plays that we had created, and we would charge 5 and 10 cents, and we would have all the neighborhood kids come and make them watch these plays. So I can so identify with what you're talking about there. That is so great.
That's funny, Michelle.
And it is really funny.
I'm laughing because I actually used to do the same thing.
We're very similar, I can tell already.
We are.
Well, gosh, so this sounds like a wonderful and crazy and awesome endeavor. I mean,
Yeah.
were there some people that came alongside, or what has helped you, or who has helped you maybe it sounds like you mentioned your friend there. It sounds like she helped identify.
Yeah. She was the one that kind of really planted the seed for me and was like, this is what you should do. And I was like, yes, this is what I should do. But then I hit this, as every small new business owner will know, you hit this wall of money that you don't have. And you're like, I have this huge dream, but I have no way of making it happen. So one of my friends referred me to a guy that does small business tax loans and small business taxes. And he really works with small business owners because he used to be a small business owner himself. And he was kind of the catalyst of where I truly got the motivation and a little bit of pocket of money for me to really put my idea into the work. So Paul Croft was a huge start for me when I was starting this out, because he just had a lot of similarities when he was going through starting his own business. and just sharing his story and kind of the motivation and the encouragement that he gave me really fired that in me to be like, okay, this is going to happen. I can actually do this. And I will never forget, I actually wrote on a Post-it the date that I had decided to do business with him. And I stuck it on my wall, and that was in August of 2019.
Wow.
So it was a year ago, because I wanted to remember that date always and be like, this I remember is when it all started for me.
That's so great. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Wow.
And I've been adding a lot of Post-its to that wall. A
Yes.
lot of firsts. Yeah.
Your space is so unique. I mean, who can use this space? What kind of events? What's happening in that space?
So it's primarily small celebrations and small gatherings. So think of like and nowadays a lot of people are having really small micro weddings. So a really small intimate ceremony, or a wedding shower, or a birthday, or a baby shower, or any type of like celebration where you would have people over in your living room. Think of it that way. And I've also had some really unique requests too. So back in April, when March Madness was going to happen, and I was going to open, some friends of mine wanted to use a space to watch the March Madness games. So I have 2 TVs in there, and 2 very large screen TVs, and a lot of sofa and comfy couches and chairs that you can sit and just relax and watch TV. But I've also had movie nights there. So recently I actually hosted my neighbors, and we did some retro night where we watched Back to the Future.
Oh my gosh, love
And
it.
we did the whole series, and everybody brought, their own food, and we all were in our comfy, cozy pajamas, and everybody pretty much almost got their own couch and their own seats. So, we were all, nicely spaced out anyway, but it was just a really comfortable space to watch a movie on a big screen, loud sound, and don't have to worry about bothering all the neighbors because they were all there. But yeah, it's mainly a space for small, intimate gatherings.
Oh, I love it. I like to have parties at my place too, but I'm liking this idea. It's like, I don't have to clean my whole house. I could actually have these little parties that I would like to have in a really nice space.
Right. Or I had friends that have pets, and they're either worried about their pets, getting all over the place, or the pet hair or whatever. This way you can come and just not have to worry about anything. It's kind of an apartment that you just rent, or like a party room. And you don't really have to do any pre-cleaning or after cleaning, which is kind of nice.
Well, where is this location?
It's right in kind of St. Anthony, May, Northeast Minneapolis. So it's on the corner of Hennepin and Central Northeast. And for people that don't know where that is, if you know where Glam Doll Donuts is in Northeast, we are right next door.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh.
Which is also nice because I know a lot of people that like to have that catered in. And it's super easy because the coffee is hot and so are the donuts.
Can you share how your space helps your community?
Yeah, so I'm trying to partner with a lot of local neighborhood community members, as well as small business owners, to try and keep that network alive. So one of my favorite caterers, Whitey's, which is Whitey's Old Town Saloon, which is right down the street. They have fantastic food, fantastic service. I know the general manager, and we have a great working relationship. So I like to use, if anybody wanted to cater food for an event, I like to use people that are really local in the neighborhood to just keep our businesses thriving. There's a couple of retail shops just below my event space. Urban Violet is one of them, and Golden Pearl is another. They're just 2 really small boutique shops. And I've asked and worked with them to get discounts for people that rent the space. And if they, shop on the same day or within the same week of their event, they get, a discount from one of the local retailers. So I really try and keep that business local and really tight with the community. It's just nice to have that support in your community.
Kudos to you. I mean, just making those relationships and working towards, making it a win-win situation for you and for the local businesses that are. And now a quick word from our sponsor. I am your host, Michelle Torberg, and I just have to tell you about Sharon Planer, Pianist for Parties, who is one of the Twin Cities' finest wedding, ceremony musician, and cocktail pianists. I have had the great pleasure of hearing her play live on several occasions and highly recommend the beautiful musical atmosphere she creates for any event. Visit pianistforparties.com to hear samples of her work online. Sharon most definitely has the keys to make your event sparkle with live music. Now, back to our show. Do you have any tips or anything as far as your networking experience that you could share with us?
It's funny you say that, because while I was working in the corporate career, as my yearly review, I constantly, every year, it didn't fail, I always got one of my strengths was collaboration. And I think it just plays into my personality in general. Fortunately, I am a Leo, so I feel like that really helps push me into the aspect of being social and like to connect with people. But from a networking perspective, I really feel like actions speak louder than words. When you really show people that you are willing to stay connected, or you take the time to call them up and say, hey, do you want to grab lunch, dinner, coffee, a drink? Do you want to come over and just chat? Or I want to work with you. I think that action goes a really long way and shows the other person that you truly want to stay connected or want to continue networking with them. So back to that old saying, actions speak louder than words. I really feel like getting out there and actually doing it and truly staying connected with people really helps. But it also, I like networking because I just like being surrounded by people. I like having a lot of friends in my life. And a lot of times I see people that I network with and connect with on a professional basis, new friends of mine. I don't just look at it as a kind of a transaction or like, oh, you're just a business person or whatever. Like I truly look at it as like, oh no, Michelle, yeah, she's a good friend of mine.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's where I think the biggest success and the work of networking and that sort of thing doesn't seem so much as like work when you realize that actually these professional connections that you have actually can turn into almost like a work family or this friendship. And it's like, wow, and we know what the work is like. And so we should share a lot of that. So.
And it's just fun to work with people. I mean, as being a small business owner, I run this entire operation by myself. So I get lonely at times.
Right.
So the more I network and the more I reach out to people and meet with people, it just helps me feel like I almost have coworkers, if that makes sense.
Yes, it absolutely does. So tell me, what's a fun fact about you that maybe somebody wouldn't know? Just what would be fun to know about you?
A lot of people don't know that I am originally from Hawaii, the great state of Hawaii. Yeah. And a lot of people ask me, what the hell are you doing in Minnesota?
Right. Good question.
Which is a very valid question. I get it all the time. But my mom's side of the family is from Minnesota. So that's what moved me back here, I guess. But yeah, I'm originally from Hawaii. I was pretty much born and raised there, and moved back to the mainland when I was 21. So my roots are very, very laid into the islands. I'm a total island boy. If you come here, you will most likely see something Hawaii related in my house or in the space, just because I like to be reminded of the beach or just greenery and the sun and the blue sky and whatnot. So yeah, I'm somewhat strong to my roots.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I can relate to that as well too. I mean, I think people that live in Minnesota, it's because family lives here. You know.
Yep.
Used to live out in California with my husband when he was in the service, and it's like we moved back here, and people are like, "Why'd you move from back to Minnesota when you were in California?" Right. So, I hear you. It's like family brings us back to Minnesota.
Right. I'm not insane, I promise.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, this is great.
The one thing about the space that I would like to mention is it's very modular. On my website, I usually have it staged to look like a big, oversized living room. There's actually 2 little living rooms in there. It looks just really warm and cozy. my philosophy is whatever you can imagine the space to be, we will make it be. So just the other day we had a wedding in there, and we set up, like a little canopy for the ceremony, and we had a little getting ready station that almost looked like a salon, where there were 3 chairs and mirrors, and they were doing hair and makeup. And it can be set up for a, multi-table dinner party or a co-working space. So all of the furniture can be either moved or removed from the space to just make it however you can imagine. And when you do have an event here, I love bringing the hosts through the space itself, just to kind of visualize, where do you want furniture set? Where do you want this set? Where do you want that set? Do you want this even here? Do you want to bring in your own stuff? It's truly a modular space, which I absolutely love. So we can make any event the event of your dreams.
Could you share your website?
Absolutely. It is The Apartment Minneapolis. So TheAPTMPLS.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listeners, please go check out the website. You'll be really pleasantly surprised to take a look. Chris, thank you for your time today, and we will see you soon.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
You can find us at an upcoming networking event with Twin Cities wedding and event professionals. Learn more and opt in to receive future evites at tcwep.com. Thanks for listening.